Alright, so this is I'm going to do a few of the problems that you have there on your notes that are already completed for. And you can see here on the first one here we have x is equal to 5. And so we already know what the x value is. We know that the value is 5. And we're trying to figure out what the y value will be. And we're going to do this by substitution. So in order to do that is what we're going to do is we're going to sub these values in, and we're going to find out using algebra what the y value is going to be. So we already know that this is solved for x, so I'm going to solve for the y. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this x into the x part, and I'm going to solve that equation now for y. So what happens then is I have this, and I now know the x is 5, the y is y, and I have 12. And I can now figure out, well, what plus 5 gives me 12? Well, that obviously is going to be 7. And I can do that algebraically here by subtracting 5 on both sides. And I get my y value to be 7. And so my ordered pair there, or my solution, where these two lines would cross, is at 5, 7. Okay? If I do another one like this as well, I can do the same thing like on number 2. You can see that number 2 is solved for x. X is equals to negative 2, so I know that. So I need to find out what the y value is, so I'm going to solve for y. So solving for y, I'm going to place that negative 2 in, right down here, into the x value. I have a plus 3y equals 4. I'm using this equation right there. So now I just solved this two-step problem just like I did before. I'm going to combine the negative 2 and the 4 together by adding. When I add those together, those go away. I'm left with 3y is equal to 6. Then I can divide that by 3 on both sides, and I know that 3 can go into 6 two times. So right there is my y value of 2. I have my x value of negative 2. And so my ordered pair is negative 2, 2, and that's where they cross at. Okay? If I do number 3 is the same way here. I've got my value here of y, and I'm going to use this equation down here at the bottom to solve for. So what I'm going to do here is then I'm going to solve for x, because I know what the y equals. So what the y equals is 5. Wherever I have a y, I'm going to put in the number 5. So what I have here is using that equation, I have negative 3x plus 4 times 5 equals 8. Now, before I can start moving things over on a different side, I need to clean this part up. So I need to do my multiplication. And 4 times 5 is 20. That equals 8. If I do this now, I can solve this two separate problem. I'm going to put the 20 and the 8 on both sides because they are like terms. And I have to do that by the inverse. So the opposite of add is subtract. And so I'm left with negative 3x equals negative 12. And so negative 3 can go into 12 4 times. And so that is my value right there for x is 4. And so I have the ordered pair 4, comma 5. Right? Now, I'm going to do a couple other ones here that you have so you can look at here. I'm going to do this one right here, number 4, kind of what we did here. I know that the value of y is 2x, and what that means is that x is double the size. So y is 2 times the value of x. So when I find the value of x using this equation, I can then multiply it by 2 and find my y value. So I'm going to have to do just a little bit more work to solve this problem. So I'm going to start off by solving for x. And so I make my thing here. And so what I've got here, I've got x plus, and my y is going to be 2x equals 9. I can now clean this up by combining like terms. I have a 1x and a 2x, which gives me 3x. And what times 3 gives me 9? Well, I know that's 3, so x equals 3. Now, to figure out what the y is, I told you right up here, y is 2 times the value of x, or double the size of x. So basically, I'm using this equation to find the y value. I'm just multiplying it by 2 So that gives me 6. I use that equation right there. So I now have the values of 3 and 6 are my values there. And I'm completed. All right. If I want to solve another one here, I'm going to go down here to the number 9 down here. So if I'm looking at number 9, so I look at number 9. Number 9 is the same place. I got the y solved for right there. And I want to use this equation now to solve for x. And so all I'm going to do is wherever I have the y, I'm going to substitute that value in. So I'm going to take this equation, I'm going to sub it in. So what I have there for x, I have 4x minus 2. And the y value there is negative 3x equals negative 20. Now I can clean this part up right here by multiplying. So I get 4x minus negative 6x. I just distribute, take the 2 into here, equals negative 20. I can combine, I have right here a negative and a negative, which turn into plus, which becomes 10x equals negative 20. And 10 goes into negative 20 2 times. Now, to find out what my y value is, I just look up here and I know that y is 3 times the size of x. So my x is negative 2, so I just need to multiply that by 3 or negative 3, and I will find out what my y value is. So this is the equation I use. It was this one. It comes right down here. And so y is equal to negative 3 times negative 2, which equals 6. And that is it. And that's my ordered pair, negative 2, 6. It's my ordered pair. So there you have a quick rundown of about a couple of these problems here that will help you be able to solve for the problems down here on the back. So these are the 4 that you need to work and then check on with Mr. Oberman here. So you need to make sure that you use this equation because you know what the y equals, and you're going to solve for x on this one. Same way here on this one. You're going to use this equation that's already solved for x, and then that one down there. You're going to solve for y. Substitute those in. Remember, 1 or 2 step equations and you can solve it. Okay? And remember to write your answers in an ordered pair. So because that is the point of intersection where those 2 lines would cross. Same thing here down at this one. And you're going to solve for the x value by placing in the y value, 2x, combine like terms if you need to, whatever. Same thing here with this one. Looks like right here you're going to solve for the y. And you can place that value in where you have the x, and remember to write your answers in ordered pair. And then you will be finished. So use this video to help you. Use your notes that we did. I showed you on here why they work, and then you need to use those to help you by solving those problems. Thank you very much.